Paul Schwartz joins us, longtime beat writer and outstanding columnist for the New York Post, covers the Giants and been covering them for a long time. No better person to have on talking G-Men than Paul Schwartz, and he joins us here on Big Board Sports. Good morning, Paul. How you doing?
Hey, Roger. Hey, Zach. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. By the way, you will be happy to know that the UAlbany football team is ranked 25 in the latest, he's a UAlbany grad, ranked 25, Paul, in the latest FCS Top 25. First time since 2014. They're 2-0 to start the season.
Well, I am certainly well aware of that, Roger. I watched the Buffalo game, and I monitored the Rhode Island game, and I think that they're ranked top 25 is obviously nice, but probably silly.
Yeah.
Because they're probably not. This is a team that was picked, 11th in the CAA? Yep. But look, hey, they beat Buffalo, and that's great, and I'm sure they're happy, and I'm happy, and, any win you can get in football in that very difficult environment is going to be good.
Yeah, and let's give it a couple of weeks here. They should win the next two, Holy Cross and then St. Francis of PA should. And then Richmond comes in here, and they're the best team in the CAA, October 8th. It's a homecoming game, and then that could be a nice barometer game to see exactly where this program stands. How impressed were you with the Giants' victory? And I guess a lot more positives than negatives coming out of week one.
Well, one thing I would say before I get to the Giants, Richmond might be the best team in the ACC as well.
But, no kidding. No
I
kidding.
know that they're pretty good.
Yeah,
I was impressed with the Giants, not when you break down every aspect of the game. They had to win this game, okay? For a lot of reasons. It's Ben McAdoo's first game. It sounds silly to say the opener is a key game and you have to win it, but with so much, they had to get out so much of the bad feeling of the last few years. And it's not only Tom Coughlin. It really is not Tom Coughlin at all. It was just things were in a downward trend. And the Cowboys, although it's a road game, the Cowboys are not a great team. They are a team that cannot win without Tony Romo. They have proven that time after time. And the way this game unfolded, and really you couldn't have scripted it better as far as trying to blow out the past and in with the new. It was exactly like last year's game, exactly like so many games the Giants played last year. And if they had blown that game and lost that game, if Terrence Williams cuts outside instead of inside and Bailey drills a 61-yard field goal, it would have been an incredible letdown. It would have been more than one loss. So the fact that they won was a great relief, and that's what I sensed from the Giants in the locker room. Not euphoria, but relief.
The defense, Paul, definitely looks better. There's no question. As bad as that defense was last year, and the money they spent, the new guys that they have in there, Janoris Jenkins flying around, Snacks, the whole crew, I think definitely an upgrade. Not going to be the best defense in the NFL, but certainly better than what they had last year. And, down the stretch, they came up with some big plays. They certainly stopped the run, which they couldn't do last year.
Snacks Harrison is a run stopper. Jet fans know that. He doesn't get a lot of credit, even though he got a lot of money, over $40 million from the Giants. So the Giants are giving him credit for what he does. Here's another thing which goes unheralded at times. In the fourth quarter, Lyle Collins, who is a very good young guard, right, was called for how many holding penalties? 2. Against Olivier Vernon. Now, Olivier Vernon, if you look at his stats, he didn't have any sacks. He was active. He was good. He was solid. But those are 20 yards of losses directly attributed to Olivier Vernon, the new $85 million man. So, yes, the defense was better. Now, look, this was the best offensive line in football, so you have to give the Cowboys that. It is a challenge blocking them. But it was a limited Cowboys offense because you have a rookie quarterback. He's not throwing the ball deep very effectively. He's taken his underneath routes. The Giants stopped the run, so there was not a lot of answers for Dak Prescott in that game. But you know what? You win the game and you move on. The Giants feel a lot better than the Jets and the Saints and the Cardinals and the teams that lost close games, the Panthers. You win in this league. It's not basketball where sometimes you can get style points even if you lose. Football, there's only 16 of them. You just have to win.
And Paul, offensively, Eli's got some weapons now. You add, if you're going to say Victor Cruz is back, and he certainly played well, 4 catches, had the game-winning touchdown pass, where it looked like they were going to go over and try and double-team, Odell Beckham Jr. All of a sudden, you get Victor open over the middle, and Eli makes a good throw. But now then Sterling Shepard obviously catches a touchdown pass, the rookie that we talk so much about. Those are 3 really good wide receivers for Eli Manning to deal with.
And Sterling Shepard doesn't only catch a touchdown pass, he goes up and gets the ball. That is not a play that everybody can make. Sterling Shepard is not 5'11". He's 5'10", but he's got a 41-inch vertical leap, which is higher than Odell Beckham Jr. So he gets up there. He's got big, powerful hands. He's not a small man. He's just short. And him making that play, look, if he gets open and the guy falls down, he catches the ball, that's great. But he went up and made a play, and Eli trusted him to make a play he did not make on Eli's only interception, which was really 99.9% attributed to Sterling Shepard not making a play, cutting the wrong way, not giving up on the play, basically. And, that's what Ben McAdoo called a rookie mistake. So he's not perfect. Victor Cruz is not Victor Cruz of 2011, probably never will be. But as you said, with Beckham, Beckham is the lightning rod. If you don't give him special attention, he will embarrass you. So with that special attention, these guys, should be singled up mostly. Then a 6'6" Larry Donnell runs in the middle of the field and catches a 15-yard touchdown. If they can run the ball, which they did better late in the game, the passing attack will be really good because they have a lot of talent up there.
Paul, Zach By hanging out in studio with Roger this morning. Speaking of those guys that you're just talking about, Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, and assuming Victor Cruz can stay healthy, where does that three-headed monster stack up to the best wide receiving core in the NFL?
I need them all, these guys in front of me right now. I'll tell you one thing, the Steelers guys looked pretty good yesterday with the bell cow being Antonio, he's fantastic. Which father played for the Albany Firebirds, right?
You're not kidding. That's touchdown Eddie Brown from back in the day. They won a world championship.
Local connection. He won't. Well, what did Eddie Brown? What do you have? Like 50 touchdowns? How many touchdowns did he score in those leagues?
Yeah,
he 100,000.
He was the man. And
so his son's gonna have a hard time matching him, huh?
Yeah, it was funny because I talked to my son yesterday, Matt, and he's out in San Francisco. He just figured it out. He's like, hey, didn't his father play back in Albany for some team? I'm like, yep, Albany Firebirds. 1999, 2000. They won the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Hudson Valley Community College, right?
No,
it was the Albany Firebirds, right? But look, I mean, they are. Odell Beckham is in the top, stratosphere. You guys play fantasy football. I mean, where did Odell go in all your drafts? He went 1, 2, 3, or 4, right?
Yep.
So, that's where he's going to go. I mean, his numbers. He set the bar so high with his numbers that it'll be hard to match them. And if they can spread the ball around more, maybe he doesn't match them. Maybe he catches 85 passes and 1,300 yards instead of 1,500 yards. But he is craving to win. He has been 6-10 and 6-10 his last 2 years. He is really craving to win. And I thought one of the best things that come in the locker room, which I said was a very businesslike locker room full of relief, was Odell Beckham's pure joy at talking about watching Victor Cruz have a good game, catch the touchdown pass, and salsa. Odell was beside himself. He said, I just felt like sitting down and grabbing a bucket of popcorn and watching him dance. So that was nice to see. They were on the field for barely 6 quarters in their history together. So, I mean, Odell is really excited about this, and that's a good thing to see.
Paul Schwartz, New York Post Giants beat writer, talking Giants and the win over Dallas, and now New Orleans comes in to MetLife on Sunday. Paul, what about the offensive line? That was a major question mark, and I wasn't sure about this offensive line, but they actually did run the ball late in that game, opened up some holes, and they moved the ball on the ground. I guess I was a little bit surprised at how well the offensive line started to play as that game continued.
They came 1 yard short of the perfect 4-minute drill, right? Perfect. They got the ball back with 3:57 to go, and took off almost 3 minutes, 7 straight rushing attempts for Rashad Jennings, 2 first downs, and if that 3rd and 12, he got 11 yards, 1 more yard, then they kneel on the ball, and that is the absolute prototype perfect 4-minute drill. Yeah, that was very good. I mean, it wasn't great early, and this is not a great Cowboy defensive line by any stretch with suspensions and injuries. This is a very, very depleted and not very talented Cowboys defensive line. So you would expect them to run the ball a little bit. This is a scheme running game. This is not a This is nothing like the Cowboys running game where you power it. You can know that, you put a hat on a hat and know you can block guys, zone blocking kind of thing and cutbacks, things like that. The Giants cannot just line up there. Their offensive line is not good enough, especially the right side of the line, to do that. So you saw a lot of draw plays, a lot of, not really misdirection, but they try to scheme it up, have you thinking one way and go the other way. They're doing a little more outside zone in their running. They don't have breakaway runners either. Rashad Jennings is not a breakaway back. Shane Vereen is not really a breakaway back. I like the fact that Ben McAdoo pared it down and only used 2 of them. You don't need to use 3 and 4 of them in the first game of the season. Orleans Darkwa is probably capable, but you don't need to use these guys right away. You need these guys getting a rhythm. If they can run the ball, they'll be great. I think this week against the Saints is another team they should be able to run and throw the ball against, and then things get tougher. Look, you have to be balanced, and they were fairly balanced in their first game, and it worked out well.
Paul Schwartz, beat writer, New York Post, Giants, and we thank you, as always, Paul, for a few minutes here in Albany, and we know you love Albany, and you love the University at Albany, so great to have you on the program.
Yep, we'll keep watching. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Paul. That is Paul Schwartz. What a good job he does